So the tariffs have been delayed for 90 days, but it's nowhere near enough, and it may be too late in some instances. China did not benefit from this 90-day delay. In fact, their tariffs have increased to 125%. It looks like the administration is trying to discourage all business with China. And I know everyone is jumping for joy. The markets have surged several percentage points. Crypto is doing very well. But investors may be a little happier. But people who've seen their 401ks crash are still not out of the woods. Not by far. And the regular American worker is nowhere near out of that. The entire world has seen the US promise tariffs, push tariffs, delay them, promise them, increase them, delay them, and then put out tariffs that actually have no basis in fact whatsoever, and now they're paused. Except, of course, with the prime target of China. Nothing's really changed with them. But Japan, South Korea, the European Union, and dozens of other countries are working to get America minimized or out of their supply chain because they cannot rely on us. Even if we drop every tariff against all the countries that we've gone against, we're still going to be hurt, even after 4 years, because the world now knows they can no longer trust contracts with the United States because we have broken so many of them. If we started out only targeting China and no other country, this may have worked. This may have been very successful. Up until the inauguration, we managed to successfully isolate China and grow strong friendships with Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and now we have brought all of those countries much, much closer to China, the one we don't want them to have a relationship with. And if we manage to coddle the EU, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, the other BRICS countries aside from Russia, and foster healthier trade relationships while punishing China, the rest of the countries would have gotten the memo and maybe had a little bit more trade with China because of the deal, but they would have focused on investing with us. But that's not going to happen in the next 4 years unless it's forced. And even if it's forced, it's going to end quickly, and probably there won't be any further growth from it. Japan and China have already employed one of their secret weapons against the US economy. They are dumping US debt. We owe China about $750 billion, and we owe Japan a little over $1 trillion. So about $1.76 trillion of US debt is held by these two countries alone. No country on earth can call in their debt on US bonds early. That's not how bonds work. You can only call in the debt upon maturity. What China and Japan have been doing together is they are putting their US Treasury bonds on the market. They are trying to sell it. So they just increase the supply of US debt on the world market. What happens when supply increases? Demand drops. What happens when demand drops? Prices drop. So this jump in 1 month treasuries, 2 month treasuries, 1 year, 2 year, 10 year, that's bad. When the yield of treasuries go up, that means the value of the debt goes down. That hurts us. When treasury yields go up, interest rates across the board also start to increase, especially when you're trying to buy a home. So even though there was a pause in the tariffs and the markets have had a great day, the average American just got that much more screwed over. The only solution, the only long-lasting solution to this problem is if Congress succeeds in taking away the power to tariff from a US president. It never should have been a president's power in the first place. And when this country was first established, only Congress had the power to tariff other countries. Now, a political figure said that America was at its strongest from 1870 to 1913. He forgot to mention, at that point in time, presidents couldn't tariff. Only Congress could. And Congress needs to get that back and guard it jealously. Presidents should not have this power, as we are seeing today. The only way that the world will start trusting trade and other contracts with the United States is if Congress implements a bill or a freaking amendment to the Constitution, stealing the power to tariff away from the president and putting it back solely in Congress's hands. That's it. I am the Geo Husar, and somebody in the White House needs to step up and be an actual adult. Thanks for watching.